A1, A1, A1. Yeah, truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Damn. Cooler and I'm flyer too.
What's up? What's happening? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the show that is cooler and flyer too. A1Forever Sports. It's me again, he again, Chris Tip Moore, back with another segment episode of A1Forever Sports. Why settle for less when you can have more with the vision? You dig? Today, we have a special guest coming on who's been on once before, but we're going to be talking about these Atlanta Hawks, getting thoughts, reactions about exactly what's been going on. 2023 is here. Hawks, of course, overtime loss against Golden State, really a heartbreaker. Really wanted us to get that game, but Klay Thompson, like 54 points. Trae Young did have another 30 and 10 game, number 57, only one shy behind Mr. Irvin Magic Johnson, the legend. So we're going to get into some Hawk talk here, man. Waiting on my guest just to pull up. As soon as he do, we're going to get into it some more. He's been on the show again, like I said. You guys already know him as Pat Benson Jr., Sports Illustrated and Hawks beat writer. So, looks like he's ready now. Let's go ahead and bring him in, shall we? All right. I'd like to welcome back to the show the man, the myth, the legend, Pat Benson Jr., man. How you doing, man?
Hey, Chris, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be back.
Yeah, man, 2023, man. Here to talk about these Atlanta Hawks. And it's getting rough, man. It's getting rough. I don't ran out of more victories, man. I really have. I mean, not gonna lie, I'm happy with the intensity, happy with the fight and everything. But let's just be realistic. The Hawks haven't won a game since Detroit. What's going on, man? What's your thoughts?
It seems to me like things are unraveling. Not to be melodramatic, but you look at all the turnover in the front office.
Yeah.
Coach Nate McMillan has openly talked about, considering resigning, and just sprinkle little injuries on top of all that, and you have a 5-game losing streak, or I'm sorry, 4-game losing streak. So just right now, it's just a complete mess. Luckily, it's a long season; things get turned around. But like you, I'm kind of out of moral victories, and morale is super low right now.
Right, right. So the reports about Coach Nate talking about resigning are true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He didn't deny it. Lauren L. Williams of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution asked him the other day, very directly in a very polite manner, and he did a masterful job of sidestepping it and being like, "Well, every off season, I kind of go through this process and can think about it," but it didn't deny it at all. So yeah, I would say it's true.
Okay, no problem with that. Hey, everyone makes their own decisions, but like you said, man, 4-game losing streak. The last one was really tough. Don't get me wrong, they're all tough. L is a L, but it just seems like the Hawks like really had it, and it just like almost. I hate to say it was almost like Falconish on how they kind of like found a way to lose.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, I feel bad for the fans that stayed up till 1 in the morning, past 1 in the morning. Yeah, like yourself, and the media like yourself, who stayed up so late just to watch a disappointing loss to the shorthanded Warriors. I know Atlanta had some injuries too, but no Stephen Curry on the court.
No
You know,
Kaminga,
yeah, you got to take
a
care
lot
of
of
business.
guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, super disappointing. And tonight is going to be an even bigger test. Sacramento Kings. I'm not sure when this episode's airing, but we'll know even more here in about 12 hours when Kevin Herter gets his second crack at the Hawks.
Right. At home, at his new home, of course. They
Yep.
had this whole light the beam thing, it's nice and it's been nice for them turning out. I know we took care of business against them the last time. But of course, we're not at home. This is a different team. I know they just came off of a W last night against Utah at the buzzer,
Yep.
So I know it's like Utah's not far from Sacramento compared to where, if we were coming from Atlanta. But
Sure, sure.
regardless, they played last night. We should have the fresher legs. But, in the NBA, execution is everything. It doesn't really matter about travel at this point, especially how the season is going. It seems like everyone is kind of neck and neck with one another with the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference.
Yeah, no doubt. There's like Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and then there's about 6 or 7 teams just right there in the middle that could really go in any direction. Right now, those are the teams I think are standing out.
Right, right. The top teams are definitely standing out. And like you said, man, you can go on let's say 4 to 5 game win streak and go from ninth place to like fifth. Just like that's just how the conferences really are just constructed right now.
No
But
doubt.
but really, man, I'm just trying to figure out like what are your keys for tonight for Atlanta to get off of this 4 game losing streak and not become five.
I guess it starts on defense. It starts with defense and rebounding. Clint Capella's already been ruled out. He's dealing with a right calf strain. And when Capella's out, our defense takes such a hit. Obviously, rebounding takes a massive hit. So I would start there. That'd be the big thing. I feel like offensively, the Hawks are who they are at this point. Not a whole lot of shooting. Not many people who can stretch the floor. So really, I think they're going to have to rely on their defensive identity that they formed early in the season, but has kind of faded away with Capella's injuries. So I'd say it starts on the defensive end of the floor. What about you?
Well, definitely gonna start with defense. It's gonna be tough because, of course, we know that they traded, offense for defense. They are
Yeah.
better on defense. I will give them that, but it's not translating into offense. You're what I believe like 16th in scoring and everything, and it's a reason for that because and then you're also like 20th in assists. So
Yeah.
that's because you pass the ball to somebody, they shoot the ball, they don't make the basket. I mean, what can you do? It's like situational. It's like, okay, we'll make some baskets, but sometimes we don't get the baskets that we need. So tonight we definitely have to make sure we get the baskets that we need. Again, like your point, we take a massive hit when Capella's out. I've been calling him Mr. Get My Extension Ready because I don't see how you don't pay the man at this point. Every
Yeah.
time he's not in the lineup, you suffer.
No doubt. He's been the unsung hero this season, maybe even the most valuable player on the roster. I mean, he's really bounced back and he looked great. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon in his 1 game back, but then tweaked that calf again, and he's missed a few games again. And I'm hoping, we get that Capella back at some point and not last season's Capella where he's constantly dealing with this calf, Achilles heel issue. It just seems like it just keeps flaring up that lower leg issue for Capella.
Right, you're absolutely right, man. And he looks so good when he's healthy. He has that bounce. He looks like a defensive player of the year candidate. So
Oh, for sure.
when
Yeah, unbelievable motor.
yeah, and it's like, okay, I want to run something by you. I had some one of my subscribers send me a question, and what do you think about Onyeka Okongwu as far as him having to start on a consistent basis with Capella out? Do you feel like he's kind of being exposed a little bit? Because I mean, to be honest, he's an undersized center. What, six listed at 6'8", going
Yeah.
against some guys, and pretty much they just want to know from your experience and your perspective. Is he like a little bit too small sometimes?
Yeah, I love Okongwu, and I believe he is the center of the future for Atlanta, but he's not better than Capella right now, and I don't think he's really a starting caliber center in the NBA right now. He still has some development to go, and like you said, it's hard to overcome that size disadvantage he's at. I don't know if one day he eventually has to move to the four. I don't think he has that kind of game. I think he's got to be a five. And,
Yeah,
and I believe
rated.
in his potential. Yeah, and I believe in his potential. I think he'll get there. But right now, I don't think he's a starting caliber center for a team that considers themselves contenders.
Right, right. I like the way you put that, considering themselves as contenders, because yeah, he has a motor. You can't. I feel like what he lacks in size, he makes up for in effort.
Oh,
And
for sure.
but at the same time, size is still size. You see it sometimes we get pounded on the boards. I mean, hey, what he had, what 12 rebounds, and John had 13, and I believe we still got out rebounded. So by a short-handed team, that's
Yeah.
and
That's what's frustrating about it, and that's what's so frustrating. And I don't know, we're out of moral victories, and at a certain point, you just kind of throw your hands up in the air, and you're like, where do we begin?
right, right, definitely, definitely. And just in those overtimes, like in the second overtime against those Warriors too, I just feel like you needed to keep the ball out of Clay's hand, and if he does get it, you had to run him off the three. I know I was having a discussion with a gentleman on Twitter, and he was saying, he felt like Holiday's technique was, correct and
Mhm.
didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, okay, I respect that. But me personally, this guy has what at that time 9 threes before he converted on his 10th three. He had 9 threes from behind the arc. I'm getting up in him and I'm running him off the 3-point line. You're going to have to drive and make a decision to kick, or you're going to have to try to score on me from driving. 1 point game, I can live with a 2 over a 3.
Yeah,
Or or we double team and we make Draymond the shooter. I understand he makes one, but I live with that.
yeah. You got to make somebody else beat you at a certain point. Can't keep watching those threes fall down.
54 points from Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still capable of that.
I mean, I think a lot of us. I think he showed a lot of people. He definitely showed me. I didn't see that. I mean, I know we know he can shoot,
Yeah,
but he was kind of taking it to the basket and everything, and it was like he almost was catching the Hawks off guard and by surprise because they probably didn't think he had that in him either. But Klay was just when he got going, he was just gone. He was just gone.
I know. I hate it has to be against the Hawks, but I am happy for Clay,
Yeah,
after
yeah,
everything
yeah,
he's
yeah.
dealt with, injuries. I mean, it's great to see it, but damn, why's it
Yeah,
got to
man.
be against
You
the
could have
Hawks?
did that. You could have did that against Portland or
You
the
got a
next
bunch of
game,
teams up.
whatever. And that's another thing too. I'd be like, man, why does it seem like we always get attacked? Just like LeBron on his birthday,
Yeah.
that game we got slaughtered.
Yeah.
It's just like why? And and the crazy thing, I think the Hawks gave him a shout out that night. I was in the building that night. They
Yeah.
gave him like a shout
Yeah.
out, and I'm just like, why you shouting this man out? The next thing you know, he goes drops almost 50 on you.
He was swagging, surfing, and everything between the third and fourth quarter. He was feeling at home.
Man, exactly. That's how he has treated Atlanta recently over the past couple of years.
Man, dating back most of his career, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. We haven't done too good against LeBron and the Cavs, the Heat, Lake,
No,
whoever
yeah,
he wanted to play with, just him personally. It's just crazy, man. But okay, so back to these Kings, man, because
yeah,
that's what's going on right now. The Kings tonight. Like you said, Capella ruled out, so it's definitely going to have to be a Okongwu going up against Domantas Sabonis,
mhm,
and that's going to be a tough test. And those guys have a lot of good role players. I expect to see Fox and probably like Murray go at it. I believe that's a good matchup.
for sure.
But I don't know, man. It's like I think I'm worried about what Kevin Herter is going to do tonight. Because normally, you get traded, stuff like that. Okay, he came back home. That was kind of like the emotional game. Now that
Yeah,
we're past that, now that I see you again, all right, we're past that now. Like, I don't want to see him go off for like 30 points like how he did the other night.
it's a real
We'll never hear
possibility.
the end of that.
Yeah, oh, I know. It's already. I could see him adding insult to injury. Sacramento has a top 10 offense, both in terms of points and offensive rating. One of the best outside shooting teams, and they're one of the few teams that play at a faster pace than Atlanta. So it's going to be, up and down. It's going to be a shootout basically in Sacramento, and we'll see if shorthanded Hawks have the firepower to keep up. But right now, my confidence in them is at an all-time low, especially without Capella helping out so much on defense. So we'll see, but we know Sacramento's going to run and gun. For sure. When team's not rebuilding anymore, moral victories were good, during the Lloyd Pierce era. Now you got to start capitalizing. You got to start learning how to win games. So I'm with you. Losing situational battles, and we'll see more. I think tonight will be this entire West Coast road trip will be very telling. But I feel like tonight will really. I feel like Atlanta Hawks Twitter might have a nervous breakdown if the Kings win tonight.
If we go on a 5-game losing streak, it's going to be absolutely pandemonium.
Yeah, for real. It's going to look like January 6th outside State Farm Arena.
Man, I'm telling you, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. And then after that, you have the Lakers and the Clippers. Now, it's a possibility we may get Clint back for the Lakers, which would be big, huge, you know what I'm saying? But still, though, man, this West Coast trip is about to come to an end with two LA teams who are climbing.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't get no better. You come back right to the Bucks.
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, I know, we had the Bucks number so far, but with this losing streak and then just the morale, the Bucks got the potential to come into State Farm Arena if you don't turn this thing around and blow you out.
For sure. Giannis scored 55 last night.
55, 55, 11, and 7, I think.
Yeah, for real.
I'm like, so it's just like, it's almost like he's saying, okay, second half of the season, y'all don't forget about me.
Oh, yeah, he deserves to be in the MVP discussion every single year.
Every single year. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Well, man, Hawks versus Kings versus tonight. I know we'll both be watching. Yeah. Hopefully there will be no beams being lit tonight.
No beams.
No beams, man. No beams. So I'm just hoping for the best, man. We need something good to talk about. It's really hard for me to really just discuss the Hawks because there's nothing good to really talk about outside the moral victories. So
yeah. That's it, man. But we're gonna get through this together. We're gonna figure this thing out.
Definitely, man. I definitely appreciate you coming on. I know we missed each other a couple of weeks back, but I'm glad we was able to do this again. This is always fun talking Hawks with you, just talking with you, period. So, yeah, definitely appreciate you coming on the show again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Keep doing what you're doing. Can't wait to link up with you at a Hawks game soon.
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely. We got to do that. I know we miss each other. But, okay, man. Until next time, thank you for coming on to the show. Be generational because it's always time to be. A1Forever Sports, the show that's cool and fly too. Chris Tipmore, Pat Benson Jr. We out. Let's go, Hawks. No beams.
A1. Yeah, truly. Cooler and I'm flyer too. Jam. Cooler and I'm